The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow, they pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
And a hello, howdy do to all of you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites out there all across the globe. It is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live this rather cold November morning. Here it is, Tuesday, November number 28 in the year of our Lord 2017. It is Tuesday, believe it or not. And here, well, it's almost another couple of days, and it's the end of November. We're into January. 15 degrees this morning when I was awakened by the alarm and the sun. 15 degrees in November. That's a bit cold. We are, but surprisingly enough, we're supposed to warm up to 50 to 55 tomorrow. Interesting. Weather's all over the place, but that's typical. I did a little, somebody was telling me yesterday, we had speaking of weather, had a short conversation about weather. And so I did a little digging. It's kind of interesting how short our memories are on various numbers of things, weather included. Now, this person is not an old person, but not a young whippersnapper. We'll just say that they're in their 50s, and they were. I don't ever remember weather being this wild and crazy before. I got to thinking, is that really true? And if you go, it's easy to do this stuff now. If you go on the internet, yes, that thing that your computer or your cell phone or your tablet or laptop can be connected to for now. We'll get into the net neutrality stuff a little bit later. You can research this stuff. So I did just a quick search of it and found out, no, this is actually par for the course, pretty normal. Wild weather, temperature swings has happened. It's ever since they've been keeping weather records, basically. And they were able to keep temperature records and things like that. So this goes back decades. It's normal. It's amazing how when you actually put things in perspective and you look at things over an extended period of time, not just one's short lifetime, but an extended period of time, you find that there's nothing dramatic about the weather or the climate that we're going through right now. It's amazing. We hear all this stuff about how the climate is, we're affecting the climate, is getting bad, and beaches are eroding. Well, yesterday I brought you a story about a beach in Ireland that the sea just decided to return after taking it away 12 years ago. So this is nothing new. This is not something that's been changing over time, over recent history. This is something that is proven through the data in record keeping ever since we started keeping records on weather. It's not hard to find out just to look it up really quick. Weather history. You can find records going back to 18-something. So this is, basically at the start of the Industrial Revolution, when it was really starting to get going. This is nothing, what we're experiencing today is nothing new. It's not out of the ordinary if you look at the historical record. Now, if you look at the historical record going even further from what we can surmise by civilization going back in human history, we can further tell that what we're going through today is nothing new or surprising. We know that the Earth's temperature, while man has been on this planet, has been both colder and warmer than it is today, climate-wise. For those people who want to separate climate and weather. The temperatures have been both warmer and colder than they are today. And as far as us heating up fast, I think the climate changed more dramatically and the climate heated up a lot faster when we came out of the last ice age, don't you think? Because we came out of it pretty quickly. We entered into it pretty quickly, too. And man had nothing to do with it. Just saying. So if the Earth can go through such wild and rapid temperature swings as that, then how the hell are we creating the main cause, or even a minor cause? Maybe a microcosm cause. Sure, I can buy that. But to be a main or minor cause of current climate change, how arrogant. That is to laugh. So funny. So funny. Anyway, glad that you are here. Here we are on this Tuesday, November number 28 in the year of our Lord 2017, as we roll on into the week and get into the Christmas season. Yes, I don't say holiday season. I like to say Christmas season and Hanukkah. Because, what is it? What was I watching? I've never really watched, and I didn't watch the whole program the other night when it was on, I think it was on Comedy Central. I know who he is. I've seen, outtakes of him and skits and stuff, but I've never really watched a Jeff Dunham concert. And I watched about, I don't know, the other night there was one on, again, I think it was on Comedy Central. About 20 minutes of one. Now, he's pretty funny. But the first thing I noticed right off the bat is Jeff Dunham. Now, I don't know his political affiliation, but I got to tell you, he is wildly politically incorrect. He is not, he had the grumpy guy, and then he had some skeleton on, I guess was Ahmed or something. I don't know all the characters, the ventriloquist dummies that he has, characters that he has, but those two, he was pretty hilarious with them. And Jeff Dunham says, yeah, I don't say holidays, I say Christmas. That's, well, hey, I do the same thing. I don't say happy holidays. I say Merry Christmas to you. And if you get offended by that, that's not my problem. Seriously. Well, I don't know. What do they say? Do they say Happy Ramadan? I don't know. Well, if you're a devout, well, you can't be a devout Muslim and be in this country, really. Let's be honest about it. I'm sorry, but you really can't. There's something wrong there. If you're a devout Muslim and you're in this country, then that means you want to do us some harm. I'm just going to put it out there. Now don't get upset, because there are, most Christians are not devout Christians. We go about our daily lives. We have a basic belief in the Bible and in God and in Jesus Christ. We're not devout Christians. I want to put that on the table. Be honest about it. If you are a devout Islamist, that means you're all about Sharia law, and it is not compatible. In other words, it is incompatible with the Constitution and the way of life in this country. If you are here and you are a devout Islamist, devout Muslim, you're here to do us harm. Plain and simple. If you are a devout Christian, well, if you're a devout Christian, you're probably not listening to this program. Now, by saying that most of us are not devout, I don't mean that we don't believe. I mean, we're your average faith. We believe in our faith. We go to church every Sunday, possibly, every Tuesday or Wednesday evening. We do it. We're not laymen. Laymans are the ones that, the layman Christian or the layman Jew. Layman Christians and layman Jews are the ones that I say that only go to a church or a synagogue on holidays. Those are the laymen. Then you have the normal ones. We go to church we try to live our lives by the good book, and we go to church every Sunday and maybe every, if you have a midweek service, Tuesday or Wednesday evenings or something, we go to those. Our kids might be involved in church activities, church group, the kids or teens church group, or the Boy Scouts or Royal Rangers at the church. But most of us don't walk around on a daily basis carrying the Bible, preaching from God's Word daily to everybody that we see. We tend to call them Bible thumpers. Those are devout. Muslims are the same way, devout. I mean, I know Muslims, how many times they got to pray every day? I know it seems like it's 9 times, but I don't think it's that many. So most of us, when it comes to our various religions, we're not severely devout. And that's fine. I'm not here to chastise anybody for not being a devout. But for those of us who are the average person in our various religions, I find it amazing that we're the ones that are being attacked the most. I mean, it isn't the layman, the occasional one who, it's fine to go to church or synagogue or maybe even mosque on a holiday. Well, yeah, everybody's, it's kind of a thing that you do. It's kind of expected. It's Christmas, so you go to, and you're Catholic, you go to midnight mass. And that may be the one of only 2 times a year that layman Catholics are enter a church. It could be Christmas Eve and it could be Easter. Those are laymen. Those are probably the only 2 times all year long that they enter a church. And same with Protestants. They might go to Christmas service, Christmas morning or that Sunday before, and they might attend an Easter. But that's about the only time that they enter a church. In synagogue, Jews. I mean, I'm not Jewish, so I'm not sure exactly what the high holy days like Christmas is for Christians is, where they would have. But again, on the high holy days on the Jewish calendar, I don't think Hanukkah is necessarily a high holy day. Many Christians are beginning to re-understand and celebrate Hanukkah as well. But they only, attend synagogue on the high holy days. I don't know about Muslims. I don't follow them too well. But that's normal. But those aren't the people that are being attacked. And it isn't the so-called crazy devout people. Every other word is about God or Jesus or the Lord. They're not. They're on the other extreme, so they get left alone too. Unless, of course, they happen to own a pizza shop. It's the average religious person, which is a majority of us, who are believers in our particular religion, that get attacked the most. We're the ones that are told, hey, you know what? You guys need to be more like your laymen. You go to church twice a year or 3 times a year, and that's it. You don't talk about it. You leave it, you don't bring it in the public square. You leave it alone. What I also find very interesting is you have people out there who are trying to re-energize or rediscover the religion of their birth, or they found a new religion, and they want that religion to fit them. They don't try to see, religion isn't there to make you feel better. It's really not. It's there to make you a better person. So you're supposed to try to fit into the tenets, the laws, the decrees of the religion, which will supposedly make you a better person. So therefore, you have to conform yourself to the religion. Today we have too many people that are, especially Christians, they're demanding Christians conform their various denominations and their churches into their personal beliefs. If you are, hey, I hear this all the time about about Catholics that are gay. I didn't leave my religion left me. No, they didn't. You left your religion. Now, I'm not here to bash on gays, but let's be honest here. If you are a Bible-believing Catholic or Protestant or Jew, then you're in the wrong. Go create your own religion then if you want to feel good about yourself that way. But don't demand that your church or your religion change to suit you. That's not the way religion works. I'm sorry, but it's not. And I know there are some people that are sitting back in their seat now, and they're huffing and puffing. And what's he talking? No, they should. They want me to be a part of it. No. Religion is like philosophy. You cannot change philosophy. Philosophy is supposed to be about universal, unabashed, unbending truth. You can't change the truth. Now, your religion is supposed to be focused on that kind of truth, which means it doesn't change for you. You can't walk into a synagogue if you're an Orthodox Jew and just decide that you want to change it because you decide that you want to be gay. Right? I didn't decide. I was born that. I don't care if you decide or you think you were born that way. It doesn't really matter. The point is the same. You cannot force your religion to bend to your will. Now, with that said, you also cannot force society to bend to your will. Yet the people today, they make it sound like this is the only time where gay people are not welcome in society. No, this is not the only time. Hell, the city-states and countries where homosexuality was rampant is really not accepted anymore. Can we say Greece? Athens, and can we say Rome, Italy? I know you have the liberals in those particular countries that have pushed certain things, but when you hit the streets and the general population, it's not that widely accepted. It's not. Now, forget what the lamestream media says about this. Forget about those who push for, gay marriage and gay special right this and gay special right that. The general rule of thumb is sure, a lot of people say, well, I don't care what you do in your own bedroom. I don't either. That's between you and God. Or you and your God. You figure it out. And most people have that type of belief. But I should not be forced to hang around you. I should not be forced to do business with you. I should not be forced to change my religion to fit your whatever you feel it should be. I shouldn't be forced to do that. And no matter what you say, I know I got to take a break here, but when we get back, I'll tell you where this is all leading. Hold on, folks. You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
I know some of you are saying, where the hell is Rod going with this? Well, hang on. I will get to my main point in a moment. By the way, we often say that money is the root of all evil. Well, first of all, that's an incorrect conversion of the Hebrew language. What it really says is money is a root of all kinds of evil. And that's the truth. Money is the root of all evil is not true. Because if the money was the root of all evil, then God would not say, give 10% of your gain. Now, money, by the way, is not just the paper that's in your hand or in your wallet or the coins in your pocket. Money has been different throughout man's history. It's anything that's used for a measure of exchange. That's really what money is. It's something that is of value that's acknowledged by two or more parties that can be exchanged for other valuable things. But with that said, we can also note and be completely accurate when we say that sex is a root of all kinds of evil. Sex itself is not evil. Sex is not the original sin. By the way, for you people who think that sex is original sin, do you realize that before Adam and Eve were kicked out of the garden, they had sex? It's pretty much inferred in the Bible, in Genesis. Yeah, and Adam lay with Eve before they got kicked out, which means that sex is not evil, it's not sinful. Sex in and of itself is a beautiful thing. However, it is what we do and how we do it that can either make it good and holy or evil and perverse. So sex is also a root of all kinds of evil. And if you think, no, it's not right. Really? What's with all the sex crimes that are going on? All the sexual accusations. I know that we take some of these things a little bit too far. He looked at my breast. This is wrong. Yeah, that's sexual harassment. Well, not really, but there are other real legitimate issues going on out there. So hang on, folks. I'll get to my point when we get back. Multiple points.
You're listening to the Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Hilary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
The name of this bumper, folks, is called Sexy, obviously. I did not plan this. It just came up in the bumper rotation. Now, how apropos that I'm talking about all the perversion that we have going on with our sex as a nation, or as a planet, actually. And the bumper that comes up in the middle of this diatribe is called Sexy. So I tell you, must be good Lord upstairs must be saying I'm on the right track. Folks, you got to understand something. Sex was just like money. Well, this is like rich people. Rich people are all evil. That's not what God said. In fact, some of the richest people that ever lived, God made rich and blessed them abundantly. It's in the Bible. It's in the Torah. And Jesus didn't say that people misinterpret a lot of stuff. You know, it's easier for a rich man to pass through the eye of a needle than to get into heaven, which means that rich people are all bad. No, that's not what Christ said. Now, remember that the Bible it also says that a love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. It doesn't say the love of money is the root of all evil. And it doesn't say money is the root of all evil. It says a love of money. In other words, loving things, not just money, but things more than people. That is a root. This is why people kill people for money. Or things. They rob somebody and they kill the people that they're robbing. It's a love of those things is a root of all kinds of evil. Sex is a root of all kinds of evil. It is a beautiful thing in the confines as it is directed and designed by God that is laid out in the Bible. Between two loving people, man and woman, in the confines of marriage. I know there's a lot of people are saying, well, that's just stiff, Rod. That's just not modern. Look, it has nothing to do with modern. This is the way it's been all throughout human history. It's sex outside of marriage and all that kind of stuff. But when you start taking sex and making it a thing, like money or possessions, and you sell it, or you just, many of us are guilty of this in our younger days, our college days, or our free love days. When you just go out to the club, well, now they don't go out to clubs to hook up. Now they have apps on their phone. How many different apps do we got now? For just not looking for. I'm not talking about like Cupid, or OkCupid, or eHarmony, or Match.com. I mean, those are supposed to be places that people are going to look for love and possibly a spouse. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the ones that are designed for just a random hookup. I mean, what you got? Tinder, Gender, Grindr, Tinder, Finder. What I don't know what they're all out there. And what the hell? I'm still confused as what is Badu? And why is it that every time I delete that account that I never signed up for, it reappears? I'm getting somebody in Concord on Badu wants to meet you. Well, I don't want to meet them. Hey, you ever see some of the pictures on this? Well, you can't help not see them if they end up in your And it's not, they don't end up in my Google accounts. This is somebody told me that Google owns Baidu or Baidu. Like, really? Well, that stuff doesn't end up in any of my Google emails. It only ends up in my personal Yahoo accounts. So and why can't I delete my account permanently? And this is just weird. And even when I put it on spam on Yahoo, it doesn't go to the spam file. It doesn't go to the. I don't know how that works. I'm confused. I really am. I'm beside. I mean, I just see it now, and I don't even click on it. I just delete it. And every time I delete it, I say it's spam, and it keeps coming in my inbox. That's some major evil going on there, as far as I'm concerned. But I'm guessing the looks of it, it's just another hookup site. Innocent. Can I say this on the air? This is some skanky women that Baidu is sending me. I mean, if I actually saw them dressed that way on the street, I would cross the street and walk on the other side. Really. Now, I'm not some overtly goody two-shoes, but trust me, I am not a goody two-shoes. But we do have limits. Well, most of us have limits. Some of us don't. Some of us think sex is used for power. It's not what sex is for. Some of us think that we can demand sex from another person even when they don't want to give it freely to us. Yeah, we have a number of words for these types and we call them illegal, but we have a number of words for these evil kinds of sex acts. And we say groping, say fondling, say raping, molesting. Those are what happens when humans make sex evil. Now, some people might go and say that anything but heterosex is evil. But yet we're out there teaching people and trying to normalize a lot of sex that is outside the confines of a loving marriage between two people of the opposite sex. And in fact, we like to give them names, special labels, so they can be engendered to people. Because if you give something a nice term or a nice label, then people usually eventually, even if it's something that they resist at first, they eventually say, "Aw." There are some terms that most human beings just never will accept. Bestiality. I don't see anybody trying to really normalize that, although they might be trying. But we're trying to normalize all kinds of deviant sexual behavior. We're trying to say this is not evil, and that's not evil, and that's not, just because it's and the only reason why certain kinds of sex is evil is because people can't get married. Well, didn't we change that? Australia is the latest country to legalize same-sex marriage, I do believe. They did it last week, a couple of weeks ago. By the way, gays are kind of miffed at the moment. Have you noticed this? Does anybody notice this? Gays are kind of miffed. Why? Because we've gotten to the point where we've just about normalized homosexual unions between two gay men and two gay women. So now they're not special anymore. They're being cast aside as just like regular heterosexuals. It's the funniest thing, and they're actually getting mad about it. Isn't that what you wanted? Didn't you want it to be normalized to such a point where now you're bland like those of us who are heterosexual? I thought it is, but they're actually getting mad about it. And they're getting so mad about it that they're coming up with all kinds of new terms for themselves. And now they're sending teachers out there to learn about all these new terms so they can teach the little chillin'. I have a story here. Teachers attend the LGGBDTTTIQQAAP sensitivity training course. I saw that this morning and thought, what? Because there are some people that get mad at me when I say LGBTXYZPDQ. Well, guess what? I was right. I just had my letters in the wrong order. You have this now, and I don't know what all the hell all of these different. All right, of course we know. You got the L, which stands for lesbian. You got gay, which stands for the G, which stands for gay, and you got B, which stands for bisexual. But all these other letters, and T, of course, transgender. That took the place of transsexual. Well, hey, I'm going to go down the list on these for you. All right, we have. This is what I'm talking about: making sex evil. In trying to normalize deviant behavior. We have LGGBDTTTIQQAAPP. Lesbian, gay, genderqueer, bisexual, demisexual, transgender, transsexual, two-spirit, intersex, queer, questioning, asexual, allies, pansexual, and polyamorous. Those are all, except for the LGBT, the lesbian, gay, bi, trans, those are all new sexual designations or sexual preference designations. Now, half of them don't, most of them don't even make any sense. Because they're just another word for something that we already have. Well, everybody knows what a lesbian and what we call gay, homosexual male. So we have lesbians and gays. But gender queer. This is something new. Gender queer, denoting or relating to a person who does not subscribe to conventional gender distinctions but identifies with neither, both, or a combination of male, female. Wouldn't that be both since there's only two sexes? Combination of male and female genders. That's easy, right? This is as bad as getting away from calling people, what they are, a he or a she. Now what is it? A Z? Don't call me she, call me Z. Don't call me he, call me Z. I don't know I don't even know how you spell it. I think it's XEE or something like that. I don't know. It's stupid. But this entered our various college campuses over the past couple of years. This notion that it's mean to use a gender-specific term on a person. Well, yeah, okay, I can to some degree I can understand it because sometimes you don't know if you're when a human being walks by, you're not sure if it's a male or female. And sometimes it's natural. I mean, there are some girls that look quite masculine naturally, and there are some males that look quite feminine naturally, through necessarily no fault of their own. So I can understand a little confusion there. But the problem is when you see somebody walk by and you do a double take because you're not sure. But didn't Saturday Night Live who did that character in Saturday Night Live? Pat? You weren't sure if Pat was supposed to be a boy or a girl? I remember watching an episode of Pat. Here's Pat or something like that. And they thought they could get away with trying to figure, all the characters around Pat could figure out if Pat was a boy or girl by asking Pat for Pat's middle name. Because he didn't go by Patrick or Patricia, it's just Pat. Pat, what's your middle name? Chris. So you didn't know. And that was the whole joke. Well, now that's considered to be rude. When you joke about somebody's gender that way, I guess. Then you have bisexual, that's self-explanatory, but demisexual. This is another new one. A demisexual is a person who does not experience sexual attraction unless they form a strong emotional connection with someone. This is normally called monogamous or monogamy. But monogamy is a bad word. I mean, that's old-fashioned. So if you're a monogamous person, or you want to be monogamous, as in you're saving yourself for marriage, well, you just call yourself a demisexual and everything's cool. Otherwise, if you don't, you're known as prissy or old-fashioned. I'm not kidding with this stuff. This stuff is it's getting sick.
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face, sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Now we're going to to enter the world, the real world of real confusing stuff when it comes to this stuff. Now, remember, this is the stuff that teachers are now being taught. So they can then teach it to their students, your children, your little children that you send in the public school. Now, we go from demisexual to transgender and transsexual. Now, finally, there's a clear. I haven't bothered before to really denote the clarity of the two words. But transgender. Now, these are boys or girls who basically dress up as the opposite sex and want everybody to basically pretend that they're not to notice. You know, in other words, that's not the drag queen. Although that's not listed here, by the way. It's not the drag queen or drag king. For those of you who don't know what a drag king is, a drag king is a girl that dresses up to look like a man and pretends to be a man on stage. You know, it's the opposite of drag queen. You know, when a man dresses up in woman's clothing and tries to be a woman on stage. That's entertainment. And a drag queen or drag king could be both straight or gay. Uncle Milton Berle was famous for his drag queen persona. Flip Wilson had a drag queen persona as well. Those are entertainment things. Okay. Bob Hope even had a drag queen persona. That's not the same as transgender or transsexual. Transgenders, they actually, every day they get up and they dress in basically what we would consider to be the opposite sex's clothing and put on makeup or try to put on beards or something and walk around and act like nobody should notice the difference. Transsexual is a person who actually goes through surgery to take away healthy body parts or to add fake body parts to make them into and then start taking hormones of the opposite sex in order to try to make them more like that particular sex. And then, of course, you have two-spirit, which is the other T. I don't know what that is. Nobody knows what that is. I guess I'm part Native American, and I don't know what that is. Intersex. This is actually describes a medical condition. It is very, very, very rare. But on these rare instances, a human being is born with both sexual organs. And usually at some point before the child gets to school, the parents have to make a decision, and the child is usually operated on to remove one of the sexual. In other words, usually it happens to be that the inside, basically a female, but they also have male genitalia, and they have to go through surgery to remove the male genitalia, and the kid becomes a girl fully. But that's rare. That's a birth defect. And sometimes there is no, because if it's the opposite, if you're the girl on the outside but boy on the inside, well, there's not much you can do about that. Queer, I don't. Queer questioning asexual is people that have no interest in sex at all. Again, those true asexuals are rare. And basically, the medical terms is that usually an asexual, a true asexual, is missing certain hormones that allow people to be interested, sex, and have sexual desire and attraction and things like that. They're chemicals, natural chemicals, and they're missing those. So they have no desire. Doesn't mean they don't have sex. They just don't have any desire for it or need for it or anything else. Again, that's a natural type of thing. But hey, I guess it's all good in the neighborhood, right? It's all good. It's all good.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of French fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine. It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound. It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Hour number 2 here on the Rod Eccles Show. The fastest 3 hours on Internet Talk Radio is right here on the Rod Eccles Show, powered by Zinc Media Arts. It is Tuesday, November number 28 in the year of our Lord 2017. Welcome back to all you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the globe, and you new people, all the new listeners out there that are coming aboard for the first time, or if you haven't listened to this show, I'm going to pull a page. I've heard Rush Limbaugh say this. I've also heard Hannity say something like this. So I'm going to say the same thing. You cannot listen to this show one time or even for 1 week and fully understand it. This is not a quick hit type of show. This is an ongoing process. You have to, in order to fully understand where I'm coming from and start to begin to understand logic, you have to listen to this program on a regular basis for at least 6 months. Yeah, well, I mean, this program goes all the way back to 2009, so there's plenty of fodder there for you to learn. By the way, the archives it's taking a little bit longer to put up, simply because of certain limits that web hosts have that we're trying to configure so it fits into within their limits, because audio and video take up a lot of space. So we've had to. If you go to rodeccles.net, you'll see that we moved the video portion off the site, and we actually made a channel over there on YouTube. We also have, I don't know, did they have a channel? On Vimeo as well. So if Vimeo seems to be less likely, I understand, to take things down versus YouTube. So if YouTube tries to take things down, there's a backup in Vimeo. So we've moved all the video off to those two cloud channels, if you will. And it looks like we may have to do something similar for all the audio, because I've got audio that it goes all the way back to 2009. You know how many? I don't know how many shows that is exactly. It's hundreds. So we're trying to configure and figure that out. So hopefully that'll be all set sometime in the month of December, where you'll actually be able to go back. I mean, it's just thousands of hours of audio available there for you that's going to be up there. But you got to listen to the program at least 6 months on a regular basis. And I'm not talking about you listen to an hour a week. That's not going to get you anywhere. Ask any of the fans or super fans of this program. They'll agree with me. You got to listen to the program in order to fully, on a regular basis, to understand where I'm going with all this stuff. And it all makes sense once you start paying attention and listening on a regular basis. Some of you might think, well, why the hell is he spending so much time on this new LGBTQ, PDQ, XYZ stuff? Because it's important. This is why this program's 3 hours and not 1 hour. This is why I'm on 5 days a week and not 1 day a month. Because it takes time to explain this stuff. You know, I got to explain it to you, Lucy. Because this has a lot more to do with than just the alternative lifestyle community. And we're getting to that point. We'll get to we're getting there. So be patient as we move along, as I finish telling you what all of these things are, because there should be some others that are added to this list. This LGBTTTIQQAAPP stuff. Now, isn't it California is it California or was it New York that wanted to have, or maybe it was Facebook, 63 sexual orientation designations or something? And they try to get you to, it used to be just, are you male or female? And then I think they started to add male, female, or other. Well, that wasn't good enough either. So now somebody out there has, and isn't it California also that wants to put on their license, driver's license? They have a number of different authorized designations. Well, I guess they're going to have to expand because this new series of letters stands for lesbian, gay, genderqueer, bisexual, demisexual, transgender, transsexual, two-spirit, intersex, queer, questioning, asexual, allies, pansexual, and polyamorous. Now, we've gotten down to the point where we've gotten through to the transgender, transsexual. We've delineated what those two really are. Still don't know what two-spirit is. Nobody's informed me of what two-spirit is. We've gotten to the point where intersex, we understand that that's a birth defect and medical condition. That's legit. That's not made up. Not like two-spirit. Now we're down to queer. Queer it used to be, well, I guess it was an insult at one point, but now it's not. It's designed to describe all people who aren't normal. Well, or I guess there's a new word now, normies. Normies. Well, yeah. So I guess it's the same as being called bent or straight, right? It used to be a queer used to be a derogatory term for gay people, but evidently they've embraced it. But the queer community, the LGBT XYZ PDQ community, has come up with a disparaging term or word for people who are straight. We're referred to often in a negative sort of way as breeders. Well, until science does it differently, the only way you're going to get more gay people is if breeders have babies. Just saying. Questioning is a term used for people who are still deciding whether they are going to fall on this list somewhere, where they're going to fall on this list somewhere. By the way, questioning, which is now a part of all this, and it's an actual sexual term, is an actual slap in the face to the born this way theory. If you're questioning, that means that you're trying to decide whether you're one of these other letters. By the way, in Anybody notice that there's one letter missing? Yeah, at the S for straight, by the way. Not on this list. Nope, not on the list. You have people who are questioning, which slaps people in the face on the born this way issue. Hey, it's a very acceptable term, and that's a very acceptable sexual orientation in the alternative sex universe. Questioning, which means you're deciding, which means you're not born that way. Just thought I'd point that out. Hypocritical, aren't they? Asexual, people who don't have any desire for sex at all. We went over that. Allies are people who aren't any one of those LGBT, PDQ things. They're actually probably an S for straight. Who ally with the gay community and show them support. And really, for the most part, it's an attempt to shield themselves from their so-called gay friends who, if they're not fully and totally and 150% accepting of their gay friends' lifestyle, then they're going to have to deal with the gay Gestapo, and they don't want to do that. So they form these alliance groups, and I'm an ally. Now, I'm straight. I'd never have sex with somebody who's of my sex, but yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing if you do. Those are allies. Pansexual, it's just another term for bisexual, actually. There is no difference, really. It's just another word for bisexual. And bisexual, by the way, we all know, it's a person who is more than happy to have sex with a member of the opposite sex or a member of the same sex or both at the same time. We're not going to get into threesomes and foursomes, and I have learned that there's a difference. There are threesomes, there are foursomes. If it's 5 or more people, that's an orgy. I'm just saying. Words have meanings, folks. They do. Polyamorous. This is not. I always thought polyamorous meant that somebody who would love anybody. But evidently, that's not actually accurate. Polyamorous is basically somebody who has more than one consensual spouse. Usually a man with more than one wife. Whether the other wives are legal or not, they call them wives. And it can be a woman with multiple husbands. But it is usually male with multiple wives. So that's polyamorous, because, love is just too big. It can't be contained for just one person. You can love multiple people. Well, it's true, but can you romantically love more than one person? I would find that hard to believe. I've never really experienced that before, but I would say no. But some people make it work, I guess. That's not. But there you go. That's the LGBTTTIQQAAPP. What's missing is an S for straight. I guess what's missing is another D for deviant, as in people like Al Franken, Harvey Weinstein, and everybody else who's been accused of sexual impropriety. I think we all can say that with relative assurity that that's deviant behavior. I know we all like to, if we're normal, we all like to think that most of the LGBT stuff is deviant behavior. But that's been the standard LGBT stuff has been normalized now. Well, all except for the B. Bisexuals are still out there in the wind, by the way. You don't even. Well, can't say it's all acceptable. transgendered people have a very difficult time within their own alternate universe community. Lesbians and gays do not really like, especially gays. Gays do not. They like the transsexual in the drag queen. You can dress up, but as they would say, "Oh, honey, don't even try to be that other thing." It's not very accepting within the gay community to be a transgender. But you should hear all the negative stuff I have heard over the years about people who claim to be bisexual. Oh, just come out of the freaking closet. You're gay. Well, talking to a guy, well, I like girls too. You can't like girls. They claim a bisexual as somebody who just refuses to embrace who they really are, instead of being accepted as who they really are. So even within the wonderful LGBT, TDQ, XYZ community, there is still strife. But if you are lesbian or gay, you've been pretty well normalized now. So they could probably remove the L and the G. Because now they're about the equivalent of an S, straight. And now what we have in place is we have the D for deviant. Although there are, and there's also another P out there that's missing too, pedophile. But they don't want to add that one. Even though that they're tossed in there with this alternative universe. And that there are people out there, and groups out there, and political movements out there all over the planet that is trying to normalize that P. As well as they try to normalize the D for deviant. Which is why so many people are now being caught. If deviant really was deviant, would we have so many people who are now being accused and many of them admitting or being proven to have done the deeds that they are accused of? That's pretty. They're trying to be normal about it. Look at Al Franken. I don't remember it that way, but I'm sorry. Now I just need to go back to work now. As if saying you're sorry is going to make everything all better. You participate in deviant behavior that is unacceptable by anybody, really, at this point in time. And now we're supposed to believe that if Al Franken says, if Harvey Weinstein would just come forward and say in a heartfelt speech, "I'm really, really sorry," then he could be like Al Franken. He could just go back to work at the Weinstein Company or whatever they call that movie production firm. But he didn't do that, so he's ostracized. He's off in some sexual rehabilitation place. Because he didn't come out with a speech and just say, really, and really try to show and fake being really, really remorseful. Like Al Franken. Al Franken did a good job. I saw that. Al Franken's an actor. He did a very good job of looking and sounding very remorseful. Well, if Al Franken was really remorseful, why would he answer the question, "Hey, Al, Senator, are there going to be more people coming forward?" He would have answered truthfully and said, "It is most likely yes." No, instead he tried to hide by saying, without trying to lie, by saying, "I don't know."
You're listening to the Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $14 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar. Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar. And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
By the way, there is there's a lot of other words or designations that are not on this new list. But this is a list that is, now folks, I'm telling you, this is a list that is starting to normalize the rest of the alternative lifestyle community. Now, we've already pretty much normalized lesbian and gay. I mean, nightclubs are becoming a dying breed across the country. And nightclubs are closing left and right because people aren't going out to bars or they're just going to bars now. They're not going out to nightclubs to drink and dance and to intermingle and all that kind of stuff like they used to. But the ones that are closing the fastest are gay clubs. So you have the mixed clubs that are openly mixed, that gays and straights intermingle, and you have the straight clubs and you have the gay clubs. And the gay clubs are closing because they have the internet now, and it's pretty much normalized. They're not ostracized the way they used to be. They're not society's outcasts. They're normal now. I mean, they're out there. They're out there. You probably have a gay in your neighborhood and you don't even know it. They're normal. And no, they're not all flashy. What do they call them? Flamboyant? They're not all flamboyant. Those are just the minority. I mean, believe it or not, the vast majority of gays and lesbians, they do just want to be normal. So they say. Whatever normal is for that type of lifestyle. But they just want to be normal. In fact, there are a lot of they don't want to be they look at you and say, well, I don't ask what your sexual orientation is. Why you got to ask for mine? That's how far we've come as far as being accepting of gay and lesbians. And many of them are actually starting to resent that because now they're no longer special. They have marriage, they have, many special rights and equal rights and all that kind of stuff. So they're no longer special, really. They're normal. And this is due to the normalization of the gay community and their very rabid organizations that force their lifestyle or tried to force their lifestyles down on the whole of America and the entire planet. And there's country after country that is falling for this. The problem is that we've opened a Pandora's box. So now we warned people, I warned people that you can't make this normal because this is going to lead to the normalization of really deviant behavior. And folks, again, I was right, because here we have it with this LGBTTTIQQAAPP that they're actually going to start teaching all that stuff in schools.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey. Ah! Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye. I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
Every day, 70,000 puppies or kittens are born in the U.S. Cute, right? What's not cute is that half of all litters are accidents, which leads to millions killed in shelters each year. Turns out, those little cuties can get pregnant sooner than you think. But here's the good news. You can stop the accident before it happens. When you bring home a pet, get them fixed at 4 months old. Prevent more. Fix at month 4. Visit fixat4.com for more information. Brought to you by Best Friends Animal Society.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event!
Promises to one's community.
Healthy people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late, we stay informed, we invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives.
This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Hi, this is Kelsey Grammer. When military service members head into battle, none are expected to face the enemy alone, but many return home and become isolated as they struggle with the visible and invisible wounds of war. It can be difficult knowing how to overcome that challenge and rekindle bonds similar to those formed in the military. Wounded Warrior Project supports these injured veterans through their recoveries by connecting them with fellow warriors and their communities. No one should fight this battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
We have Al Franken here. Now he's not the only member of Congress that his. We still don't know who's involved in this congressional slush fund. This hush money, using taxpayer money. These people can remember the banking scandal. When these guys were writing bad checks all over the place. Now, most people, if they wrote the kind of checks that these senators and congressmen wrote that bounce, we'd be in jail. That was no big deal, but they had to close a congressional bank because it was just so rampant that they were doing. So, and in order to, by the way, did you also know that in order to clear up all that mess, there was a lot of taxpayer money used to do that? Yeah, there was a lot of taxpayer money was used to clear up that mess. And so now they're using taxpayer money again to clear up the messes. And these are messes that aren't due to, government operations. These are messes that are due to personal, private matters and decisions. I don't care where you try to sexually assault another human being, male or female. It could even be on, within the Capitol building in the various states or in D.C., but it's still a personal decision. That's not government business. Nothing to do with it. So why is government funds, i.e. our tax dollars, being used to take care of a mess that you did or created personally? And some of this stuff didn't happen on Capitol Hill or within the capitals of the various states. Now, some of these things we know happened, quote unquote, while they were off duty. But yet and still, we're being told that we can't learn or know who some of these people, who these Congress people are, who these lawmakers are. We have to wait for somebody to come forward. Well, in many of those cases, we know for a fact that a lot of these people can't come forward because there's a gag order that was put in place. Hey, I'll give you like $50,000, but you can't tell anybody that we did this, and you can't tell anybody that I sexually harassed you. And of course, that mostly female, but some males are involved in this too. They just decide to say, well, yeah, okay. Fine. I quit. Give me the money. I'm gone. That's not the way it should. When it comes to stuff like this, unless it's, due to governmental secrets for security reasons, there should be no gag order and any type of government official on what they do, be it personal or government the people's business, because a lot of times, as we well know now, a lot of this personal stuff bleeds into their professional life, which affects how they do their job. This is not normal. Well, it is normal in the swamp, but for the rest of us, this is not normal. You know, if people like Al Franken, he says he's sorry, he admits some wrongdoing. Now, for most of us, if we were in a position of authority in the private sector, we would most likely be fired for doing such a thing. Especially if we did it while on company time and or on company property. But these people, well, hey, why don't you try to go to your employer and say, look, I may have done this. Why don't we just pay this person off and let him go and have a gag order? No, your boss would look at you and say, you're fired. You're on your own. Not in Congress, though. And you could go to your boss and just say, I'm sorry, I really didn't mean to do it. I mean, I was wrong and I shouldn't do it. And I know now that it was really wrong, but and it doesn't matter, what I felt at the time. I was wrong. And I am so sorry. You're still fired. But Al Franken can say that. As well as being asked a question, hey, Senator, and here's a story in the Washington Post from last week. Hey, Senator. After his apology speech, Senator, will you face more groping allegations? I don't know. I can't say. Well, truly, you probably don't know if somebody else is going to come forward. But you could say, because you know who you groped. Or maybe you groped so many people you can't remember who you did grope. I guess that's a possibility, too. Franken says he's ashamed. Although I'm very ashamed, I can still return to work, which he did yesterday, and be effective. I can still be effective. All the while, now Nancy Pelosi is not calling for the resignation. I haven't heard a significant Democrat call for the resignation of Al Franken. But these are people that have called for the resignation or impeachment of conservatives and Republicans. Donald Trump, he needs to be impeached. Because he talked about, there are women that came forward that said Donald Trump groped them. Yeah. I've read some, it's hard to find these women, really. It's hard to get their stories. Why is that? The main thing that they have on Donald Trump is that conversation, that private conversation on a private bus that he had with Billy Bush. Yes, we call it locker room talk, and just about every human being, even kids, engage in such talk. In private. Usually with their buddies or in the locker room. It's what we call locker room talk. And nobody's saying that it's right, and nobody's saying that they approve of it, but almost all of us do it. And by the way, I've overheard some women, and they're worse than men. And yeah, you ever have? Well, I've heard women talk about. Well, I'm going to admit, I've heard women, overheard women talking about me or a friend I'm with, and it's very uncomfortable. I'll admit it. It is. But you know what? They were having a private conversation between themselves. And it was my fault for eavesdropping to overhear it. They weren't directing the conversation directly at me or anybody that I was with. They were having, hey, good-looking guy, man. What'd I do to him? Ooh. Conversation between the two of them. Or group of them. Same with Trump and Bush there, Billy Bush. Now, whose fault is it for eavesdropping? Again, I'm not making an excuse, people, because by saying, well, we all do it, so it's got to be okay. Well, it's not necessarily okay. But we all do it, and we do it in private. It's not directed at anybody in particular who isn't going to appreciate the conversation. Now, usually if somebody doesn't like the conversation, they'll say, hey, that's not... look, I've said it to people, and people have said it to me. Hey, dude, that's not acceptable. And you apologize, and you stop the conversation, you move on to something else. It's the way it works. Now you can't even have a private conversation, I guess. Well, if you really not having a private conversation anyway, because the government's probably listening in. By the way, did you know that Conyers, this is not widely known, but this is actually an AP reported this. John Conyers, Democrat out of Michigan, steps aside from his judiciary post amid his sex allegations. Well, how can you be on a judiciary, which has to do with legal matters and people who are going to be legal, who are going to judge other people on legal matters, if you're breaking the law yourself? Isn't that a little hypocritical? Well, John Conyers, who's currently under investigation over allegations he sexually harassed female staff members, this weekend said that he will step aside as a top Democrat in the House Judiciary Committee while fiercely denying he acted inappropriately during his long tenure in Congress, even though he's secretly using some of the slush fund money paid off some of these women who are now coming forward to accuse him. Why do you pay off people who you didn't do anything to? I wouldn't. Well, because it's embarrassing. Why is it embarrassing? If you didn't do anything, you just say the person's a liar. Look, politicians do it all the time. They're a liar. They're lying about me. Look at Judge Roy Moore. Now, I don't know if the allegations against him are true or not, but he's saying all the women are lying. He isn't paying anybody off. He hasn't paid anybody off. Conyers did. Just saying. I mean, if you really want to compare apples to apples here, Judge Roy Moore is just denying these allegations, but he didn't pay anybody off to keep them silent. Why would you pay somebody off to keep them silent if you did not do anything? You wouldn't even think it. Right? I mean, hey, you're a guy, you go to your female coworker, I'm going to give you $10,000 for your silence. I didn't do anything, but I'm just going to give you $10,000 to keep you silent. And she'll probably look at you and say, silent for what? But if you actually did something, you'll probably, and they call you out on it. What are you doing? You can't do that to me. Hey, I'm sorry. You know what? We got to keep this between us, okay? I'll give you $10,000 if you keep quiet. That's how that happens. That's how that happens. It doesn't happen where you just walk up to somebody and say, you know what? I didn't do anything to you, but I'm going to give you $10,000 to keep you quiet. Unless, of course, which is probably not the case, but it is not out of the realm of possibility, unless, of course, some of these people have learned about the slush fund and they go up to the Congress, the lawmaker, and say, hey, if you don't give me $10,000, I'm going to tell everybody that you sexually harassed me. Now, normal people would say, well, go right ahead because I didn't do a damn thing to you, and you're fired. That's called blackmail. So if Conyers is saying, and others like him are saying, well, I didn't do anything to these people. So what they're saying is they paid a bribe, a blackmail demand. They were blackmailed into something that they didn't do. That doesn't make any sense. It's illogical. Well, it's to keep my name out of the paper on negative stuff, Rod. This is what John Conyers is probably saying. But no, you're a long-term congressman. If you really didn't do anything, who's going to believe a one-off? Honestly. Well, it really doesn't matter who you are, pretty much. If it's something that's questionable or really secretive and there's no evidence of it and only one person does it, it's called a one-off. Usually, people believe the person who's denying the allegation. The problem comes into play when you have more than one person who steps forward and says the same story or a similar story at different points in time in history. The problem also occurs when you pay off more than one person to keep them quiet, which Conyers evidently did. Now, at least two women. Well, I think there was a third woman that has come forward in the Conyers case. This stuff is just getting way out of hand. Way out of hand. And we, the taxpayer, are now paying for it.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said, "I'll bet you're a Nazi." Well, I love America, support the Constitution, and believe in capitalism. So I told him I'm not a Nazi, and I'm not. So what happens? The punk breaks out 2 windows and pepper sprays an elderly woman in the face. You know, there's one thing about long-haired young people nowadays. They're real assholes. Long-haired young people. You suck.
Did you know that Harvey Weinstein, the guy who's responsible for blowing the lid on this thing wide open, he had a secret hit list. Yes, The Guardian is reporting that Weinstein had a secret hit list of names in order to quash the sex scandal. He hired a team to investigate at least 91 film industry figures in attempt to stop harassment claims from going public and ruining his career and life. Well, whether his life is ruined is up for, still questionable. He could make a comeback in a few years. There's already rumors of that. if he just apologizes, if he gets treatment and apologizes and lives a good and honest and clean life for the next few years, he could come back. He could come back. That's what some inside the industry are saying about it. So they're already paving a road for Weinstein and people like him to be able to get back in the good graces of the liberal left. He had a hit list. Evidently, he hired investigators to try to get dirt on at least 90. How many women have come forward against Harvey Weinstein now? So it's over the century mark, right? It's over 100. That's just incredible. That this guy could get away with this for decades. Well, he's not the only one, by the way. And he's, Harvey did it within the confines of Hollywood and the film industry. But that's not the only place where you can go to be sexually harassed. Evidently, you can go to a private business and be sexually harassed too, even though, we have all these, anti-sexual harassment, policies in various small, medium, and large companies across the country. Well, evidently, there's one company that looked at sexual harassment as part of its business model. Yahoo News has brought forth the story that was an AP story about Massage Envy Spa. This is a nationwide franchise. This nationwide franchise is dealing with hundreds of sexual assault allegations. Now, what do you expect when you go into a massage parlor? Well, they're going to get awfully close to parts that are usually construed to be private, right? When massaging. Well, it's just part of the massage. Now, Massage Envy, by the way, has over 1,200 locations across the country with monthly members. I guess they're monthly members. You can get a monthly membership for massages? But over 1.5 million monthly members. And they have a nearly 70% market share in the day spa market. Day spas, massage. You can go there to get a pedicure and manicure and facials and that kind of stuff as well. That's what day spas are. It's basically the spa experience in about an hour or two. A long time ago, I got a gift certificate to get a manicure, and I ended up with a nail fungus infection. Last time I ever been in one of those places. Well, I was always wondered what it was like to get rich people get manicures all the time. Well, what's it like to have somebody else work on your hands and your nails? Well, I found out. Had to go to the doctor to get some antibiotics to cure it. Last time I've ever been in one of those places. And I've never had a professional massage at a spa. Because you always hear about how seedy they are. I guess they're not so seedy anymore. They're very relaxing and comforting and beautiful places to be, I suppose. But Massage Envy is now grappling with hundreds of sexual assault allegations that have been coming out ever since the Weinstein thing came about. Now you got to wonder if some people are misconstruing the natural occurrence or the natural happening of a massage as being, or are masseuses across the country, especially at Massage Envy, using massage therapy as a cover for sexual deviancy? Well, that's a very valid question, and I'm sure it is happening. And the company is facing literally hundreds, if not potentially thousands, of sexual harassment claims. Hey, go get a massage, get groped. Yeah, why not?
It was just another quiet Saturday at the Johnson home.
Honey, have you seen the hammer?
It's in the garage.
Oh, no, not the garage.
Later that same day...
Dad, I can't find the bicycle pump.
Son, I'm afraid it's in the garage.
The garage?
Then the following Tuesday...
Howard, where's the car?
It's in the garage.
Does your garage look like a giant yard sale without the yard? Do you cringe at the thought of entering your garage? Then you need Crest Garage Cabinets. With one phone call, those wonderful folks at Crest will come out to your home, design the best combination of cabinets for you, and install them quickly and professionally before your very eyes.
It's a miracle.
And unlike other companies who ask for a down payment or money up front, you won't pay a penny until your Crest cabinets are installed to your satisfaction. So call Crest today, toll-free at 1-800-548-2848. That's 1-800-548-2848. And you'll never fear going into your garage again.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine. It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound. It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Number 3 here on the Rod Eccles Show, the fastest 3 hours on Internet Talk Radio. Can't believe this is the third hour already. Just went by so fast. 2 hours in the can, hour number 3 here on this Tuesday morning, Tuesday, November number 28 in the year of our Lord 2017. Welcome back to all of you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites and you new listeners. Glad that you are still here or that you are coming on board and joining this morning. Hey, a little bit of lighter note. Did anybody see the video from the First Lady Melania Trump at FLOTUS on Twitter about the holiday decorations in the White House? Beautiful scenes. Just absolutely gorgeous. And I'm talking about the decorations. Although the First Lady is rather, even when she's casual, she's classy. We don't always have a classy First Lady, and I'm not one of those people that believe that Michelle Obama is actually Michael Obama. I don't believe that at all. But I got to tell you, she just didn't have it. Not all Democrat First Ladies don't have any class. Rosalind Carter actually had some class. Now, you're probably thinking, Rosalind Carter. Well, you got to think of it in terms of the 1970s. Well, that's what classy was back. Rosalind Carter was, obviously Kennedy. Jacqueline Kennedy was very classy. And a lot of people say that Lady Bird Johnson was classy, although she was just as mean as people accused Nancy Reagan of being. It's just Michelle Obama and Hillary Clinton, two first ladies that are probably completely and totally classless. Now, I got to tell you, when it comes to being classless, Michelle Obama cannot hold a candle to Hillary Clinton. If you're comparing the two, Michelle Obama is classier than classy compared to Hillary Clinton. Just saying. Yeah, it's my opinion, but that's just... Now, Michelle tried to be classy on occasion. She did. And some of the outfits that she wore, some of the dresses, oh my God, I don't know who told her that they look good enough for her to put on. They were awful. But that's not just what class is, dressing properly. Class is also how you handle yourself. And what you say and how you say it, and what you do and how you do it. And Michelle Obama proved herself to be classless on a number of occasions by what she did, how she did it, what she said, how she said it. Hillary Clinton now, Michelle, giving her some credit, there were occasions where Michelle Obama was classy. I can't really recall a time when Hillary Clinton was ever espoused any type of class whatsoever. She's always been. Can we say it? Can we say white trash? Hillary Clinton's always been white trash in my book. Since the first time that I even saw her and knew who she was, way back in the late 80s, she was white trash. But in any case, Melania Trump, on the other hand, is full of class. She's just a graceful woman. Period. And what she has done with the designers and decorators at the White House is just absolutely stunning. And you know, the White House under the Obamas was absolutely beautiful too. I mean, because they don't use the First Lady it's not all about them. They don't do the whole thing. They have designers and decorators that assist and give them guidance and help them. And it usually it always turns out to be gorgeous. And this year is no exception. It's just fabulous is a word. Can straight people use the word fabulous? Just wondering. But it's fabulous. By the way, speaking of fabulous, here's something that's going to make you feel fabulously old. 20 years ago this month, did you know that Toy Story, the first entirely computer-animated film, hit the theaters and became a huge hit? Yeah, that's right. Buzz, Woody, and the gang are all turning 20. Turned 20 this month. 20 years ago. At the same time, the final Calvin and Hobbes comic strip was printed. I loved Calvin and Hobbes. One of those rare comic strips that literally made me laugh out loud almost every single day that I read it. Yeah, last time that a new Calvin and Hobbes comic strip was penned and printed was this month, 20 years ago. Beanie Babies. Remember Beanie Babies? Oh, yeah, they were all the rage, driving parents and in-laws and relatives insane. Beanie Babies, the Thai toy company thing, was huge 20 years ago this month. Millions of girls were also devastated this month, 20 years ago, by the death of pop star Selena. Can you believe 20 years ago that is when she died? It's been 20 years. Newt Gingrich was selected as Time's Man of the Year 20 years ago. Starbucks started selling Frappuccinos 20 years ago. Grateful Dead, remember them? The Grateful Dead, before Jerry Garcia died, broke up 20 years ago. A lot of deadheads became really dead at that particular point in time. And 20 years ago, speaking of sexual harassment, Match.com was launched. 20 years ago, Match.com. Pogs were also a big thing. 20 kids everywhere. I mean, teachers had to ban them from the classroom because they were everywhere 20 years ago. PlayStation, which sold for $300, came out 20 years ago. And here it is, the final episode of the original Full House aired 20 years ago, giving rise to what we have now on Netflix, Full House, which is going into season 3 or 4 already, I guess. I don't know. eBay also made its debut online 20 years ago, and the George Foreman Grill was released 20 years ago. O.J. Simpson was found not guilty of murdering his ex-wife and Ron Brown 20 years ago. And also, along with Toy Story, Disney's Pocahontas hit the theaters. This is 1997, folks. It was 20 years ago. And Alanis Morissette's Little Jagged Pill won Album of the Year at the Grammys 20 years ago. Courtney Cox was named People's Most Beautiful Woman, and Brad Pitt was People's Sexiest Man Alive. And 20 years ago, in 97, Windows 95 was released. And 20 years ago, finally, famed guitarist Slash joined Michael Jackson on stage at the MTV Video Music Awards for performance of Black or White. Okay, all that took place, believe it or not, 20 years ago. Do you feel old now? Yeah, kind of feeling a little aged. 20 years. Selena Gomez. That's the big one. 20 years ago. It's been 20 years since her death, her untimely death. I wasn't a huge Selena Gomez fan back in the day, but there were a lot of... the Selena Gomez death was nearly, as far as fandom is concerned, and the music industry is concerned, was almost the equivalent of the untimely death of Michael Jackson. I mean, just fans were just crying and, blobbering all over the place, all over the globe, over her demise. Here's a story from InfoWars and backed up by other sources. Soros-funded groups claim that repealing net neutrality is racist. Yes, this whole idea, this whole false, fake, phony notion of net neutrality. Now, the argument, I've even had some people, in person when we've had this discussion about net neutrality. Rod, what it's really going to do, it's going to keep Time Warner from dialing back, say, Netflix. Or it's going to keep them from dialing back, the bit rate and all the other stuff and slowing it down is, say, for any conservative site. Like maybe the Washington Times or Breitbart. That's how it was originally sold, but it was a lie. That's not the case. Net neutrality. Folks, net neutrality is just about government overregulation. Do you realize that government overregulation has delayed technological advance in this country, sometimes in some cases by decades, literally? Now we also have this notion, the reason why we have so little competition, which gives rise to the fears of people, companies like Comcast and Time Warner and AltNet and all those cable and ISP companies, from doing what they claim that these companies are going to do without government regulation, is because government put in place these monopolies where they could do this type of stuff to people, and people don't have a choice. Do you realize that in most communities across this country, still there is a government-mandated monopoly on your cable company? You don't have more than one cable company operating in your town. Now, some people will say, no, Rod, I've got Fios. Fios is not cable. It's not. And sure, although they did repeal this regulation, in some communities you still can't put up a satellite dish, like DirecTV or Dish Network. So you don't have that option. And in many communities you don't have the option of Fios either. My community, I don't have the option of Fios. I don't. All I got is what is this? Xfinity crap. That's all I got. Because there is still in most communities, including in mine, where there is a local government mandated called franchise. It's a government monopoly. Well, would the government be so concerned that a particular company would piss off their customers by dialing back stuff that the customer wants to access and slowing it down, if that cable company or ISP company had real competition? Well, real competition is opening up in many places, so that isn't becoming a concern. But it isn't coming from the cable companies. That competition is coming in slowly, also slowly due to government regulation, which is what they want to do with this so-called net neutrality, make it fair. So in other words, if the government actually, the liberal government, liberalists in the government actually had their full way with net neutrality, do you realize that this program would not be able to broadcast the way we do? No. We would have to give full, unfettered, space, airtime for a liberal to come on. A liberal would be able to come on the Rod Eccles Show and give their side, quote unquote, of the stories that I present. That would kill most conservative stuff on the net and on the air, on the radio. That's what all this fairness doctrine and net neutrality is really all about. And it's meant to keep companies from actually charging a fair price. Now, yes, I agree. Cable and internet in this country is overpriced. But that's due to there being a lack of competition. Look what happened to cell phone companies when government... Remember when cell phones were new? The government had so much regulation that there were only 2 providers in most markets. You had an A provider and a B provider. That was it. And cell phones were ridiculously expensive because there was no competition. And then they reduced the regulation on cell phones, and there was no more A and B provider. There could be a bunch of providers, and now look what we got. You can get monthly cell phone plans with unlimited data or all the data that you could possibly use, even if it's not really unlimited, for as low, I've seen them plans as low as $25 a month. That's way down from the $100 a month just a few years ago for plans that weren't nearly as good. Because government got out of the way. And here you have people in the government who want the government to get in the way. Which means we could expect rising prices, less competition, and less innovation if net neutrality were to be implemented the way the liberals wanted to implement it.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
Removing net neutrality as being racist is simply because they're claiming that black people would be disproportionately affected because obviously, when you go into the inner city and into the ghetto areas, cable is more expensive than it is in the rest of the communities at the cable company. That's not true. It's not true at all. I mean, there's already plenty of pricing regulation in place on the cable companies, which would not have to be there if they allowed real and true competition. I would love to be able to have a choice, a real choice, in my cable provider and my ISP provider. I don't have a choice. Well, I think I can get, DSL. I can get DSL from the local landline company, but that's slow stuff. Does anybody really use DSL? Well, I suppose if that's your only choice, then yeah, you would use DSL. But if you have a choice between cable and your DSL provider, which one are you going to go? Most people would choose, if they could afford it, they're going to choose to go with the faster, better service, which is cable. I can't get Fios or anything equal to. We don't have any. There's Google ultra high speed somewhere in some communities around Boston, but there's not up here in New Hampshire. Fios isn't in Concord, even though we constantly get the stupid commercial. Hey, I've even gotten mailings. This is how stupid this is sometimes. I get mailings in the mail, the junk mail, about Fios. And you go online, see if Fios is available in your community, in your neighborhood, in your street, at your address. Sorry, Fios is not available at your address. Then why do you keep sending me these stupid postcards? Tell me to get Fios. I can't get it. They've been sending me for the past 6 years. And I keep hoping, maybe they're adding it. We'll get it soon. No, I don't have it yet. I don't have it. So I don't have any really competitive choice. I've got to go with this Xfinity crap and be overcharged. I mean, that's the way it is in many communities. Well, you can do the wireless way, right? Well, wireless is first of all, you're eating up your unlimited really isn't unlimited. Read your fine print. So you're eating up your data, and it's not as fast, not yet, as your wired cable is. So your cell phone cannot operate as fast as your cable or even your DSL. It might be the speed of DSL. Now, in the future, when we get 5G, true 5G in a few years, That could be a game changer. But there's a problem with 5G. And yeah, it's due to government regulation. So we may not get 5G before 2025, even though it could be here by 2020. It may be, unless, Rajit Pai? Unless he gets his way with the FCC and starts deregulating some of this overregulated stuff. Got more on this in just a minute.
You might be surprised to learn who has Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. Nearly 1 in 200 Americans are suffering with the debilitating pain and constant disruption of these inflammatory bowel diseases, or IBD. Chances are you know someone with IBD. For example, your neighbor or coworker. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation was created to help patients cope and to find a cure. People with IBD can't wait. Won't you help someone you know? Visit www.escapethestall.com today.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C, but most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? Shifting to a system based on primary care can help fix the problem. Patients with a primary care doctor live longer, healthier lives and are less likely to suffer from cancer, heart disease, or stroke. Primary care that is comprehensive and coordinated also saves money. Patients who have a primary care doctor spend 30% less on health care than patients who don't. States with a high number of primary care doctors have lower health care costs and higher quality care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
The Amazon's rainforest is being cut down so fast that by 2030, 55% of it could be completely wiped out. The Earth's forests can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to? Jeffrey.
Marcia Gay Harden? What?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye. I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
That's a new bumper in the rotation. It makes me want to get up there and dance. You know, what's the beatboxing? You know, that reminds me of watching Samurai Jack. Have you ever watched Samurai Jack? You people should. I think it's on Hulu. Yeah, you can catch all the episodes on Hulu. No, you can't catch the last. They did a last season this past summer. I haven't seen any of the episodes yet, but they did a conclusion season of Samurai Jack to catch us all up. But yeah, Samurai Jack was the bomb, yo. Jack Diddy, that Samurai Jack just laid it down, man. Speaking of Jack, here's something that's a little bit it's not out of the ordinary, but it's a dog. Yes, Cokie Roberts. ABC News' Cokie Roberts admits that she covered up John Conyers' sexual escapades for years. I just can't with these people anymore. Evidently, over the weekend, she was speaking on ABC this week. Cokie Roberts made the startling admission that she's very sorry for it. Just like how they're all saying that they're sorry for covering up and protecting Bill Clinton in his sexual misescapades while he was president and before he was president, and even after he left office. But Cokie is apparently known about this for years. Conyers has been accused of multiple instances of sexual harassment and has stepped down from the House while he stepped down from the House Judiciary Committee. And even Pelosi is still, trying to protect and support Conyers by calling him an icon. Every female in the press corps knew about John Conyers, Cokie said. You just can't make this stuff up. Anyway, we almost forgot to go down the list of holidays for today, Tuesday, November 28th. Today is Letter Writing Day. Yes, you should be out there actually physically handwriting or hand typing. Not word processor or computer, but handwriting or even old school typewriter. Letter Writing Day. Write a real letter to somebody. That's what it's all about. That's what today is. Because it's a lost art. Letter writing is a lost art. Anybody send letters anymore? Honestly, does anybody write down their thoughts, their feelings, their desires, what have you, and mail it off to the person that they want to communicate with? No, they text them. So there's still something about a letter. So Letter Writing Day is today to sort of annually to bring back that sort of past of days gone past. Today is also Make Your Own Head Day. Even if you're not a quote unquote good drawer, if you can't draw, if you're not an artist, still you can draw your own head. So today's the day you should try to draw a self-portrait, in other words. Draw your own head, because it's Make Your Own Head Day, and post it on your cubicle. Do that at lunch. Many people will be going to lunch pretty soon. So take the time to draw your own head and then post it on your cubie, and encourage your coworkers to do the same. Today is also National French Toast Day. So if you're going out to lunch and you didn't have French toast for breakfast, it's a good time to have your local diner might have a special today. I understand that some diners do this annually. The local diner in your neighborhood or restaurant may have a special today on French toast. And this is a breakfast. Well, what we traditionally call a breakfast item here in this country is traditionally eaten at any time of day in other countries. And it's now called French toast again. It was called Freedom. Remember that? It was called Freedom Toast and Freedom Fries after we found out what the French were doing in Iraq. Yeah, we changed that but now it's back to French fries and French toast. Even though evidently French toast is not actually French, and neither are French fries. But okay, hey. And by the way, the French don't particularly like to take, I understand that. I didn't see this when I was in Paris, but evidently the French called French fries American fries. I didn't see I didn't eat any place that had French fries on the menu. When you're in Paris, what are you going to do? Eat American fare? No, you're going to eat some French food, which is what we tried to do. So, except for that one place, that one restaurant called Indiana. That was a Tex-Mex restaurant. That's for another time. Today is also Red Planet Day. Yes, it is a day that is observed to honor and observe the red planet, which is Mars. It is also Giving Tuesday. You'll probably hear about this. There's a Twitter hashtag and a Facebook hashtag. It's hashtags all over the place today for Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday is a global day of giving that kicks off the charitable giving season, Christmas season. And this is really the kickoff day. So they call it Giving Tuesday, where you should go out to your charity and they really want your money, but they will... is what the liberals will say. Give your money. All the liberals don't give very much of their own money. But give your money and or give of your time. Because it is Giving Tuesday, charitable giving season, really. And finally, today is Turkey Leftover Day. Now, evidently, tomorrow is Throw Out Your Turkey Day. So your leftovers from your Thanksgiving dinner are only good for about a little less than a week. However, I don't know if I would trust this or not, but evidently, if you've reheated your turkey after the initial Thanksgiving cook day, if you reheated it, you get an extra day. You can get an extra day out of your turkey. So, but I don't know. Anybody still have turkey left from Thursday? The original Thanksgiving? I know that, by the way, this weekend, if you missed it, because I wasn't on the air, obviously this weekend, past weekend, but this weekend is also usually on Saturday, but it can be either, they should call it the weekend, but it's known as Friendsgiving Day, because Thursday you're usually having dinner with your family, right? Your immediate family or your extended family. But the weekend of Thanksgiving weekend, usually Saturday, is called Friendsgiving, where people usually have another turkey or ham dinner with Thanksgiving style with their friends. But this has to do with the turkey that was cooked on Thursday. Now the problem is that many people probably cook that turkey on a Wednesday night, but basically, it's safe. Today is the last safe day. But if you've reheated it say on Saturday for Friendsgiving, leftovers, you may have one more day safely to eat it. But I don't know anybody who's got turkey left over if they cooked it Thursday. So, but those are today's holidays for November 28th this year. Now, back to Cokie Roberts. Cokie, by the way, there's another story today about more Hollywood sex crime cases being reported and investigations being started. So now the LAPD, I guess, has 30 cases, open cases. Now, some of these cases may be combined eventually, but now they have 30 open cases, I guess, that they're investigating sex crimes, and they forwarded 37 other cases to the various jurisdictions where the potential crimes took place. So we're well over 60 cases in LA alone, Hollywood, basically, that various police departments out there are seriously investigating. Now, whether any criminal charges actually come about, don't know yet, but it's pretty damn serious when you're talking well over 60 cases now. In just one jurisdiction, basically. LA, Hollywood, Greater Hollywood. I mean, this is just insanity. And Cokie Roberts has the audacity to come about and say, well, everybody knew about John Conyers in the media, and nobody said anything. Back to the Soros-funded, the net neutrality thing. Did you realize or did you know that Ajit Pai, did I say Rajit before? No, it's Ajit, no R. Ajit Pai, the current FCC chairman. I mean, leftists have been protesting at his residence. Did you know that there are a number of I had a story here about that here in the physical paper pile. There was a story that a lot of people in the Trump administration who were appointed by Trump have had to have security beefed up around them. Well, Ajit Pai is one of them because there have been he's been threatened physically. Because of how he wants to handle the FCC. And he's had security beefed up at his private residence due to the fact there have been a number of protests that have taken place at his private residence. These people know no shame who do this kind of stuff. So but now, according to the Washington Post, this is a national paper, by the way. This is not some local, .com ragmag or something, but it's the Washington Post is reporting that Ajit Pai has reported that his children are being harassed over his belief of net neutrality. After he proposed to dismantle net neutrality rules, he set off a firestorm of criticism. Now, Ajit Pai, the chairman of the Federal Communications Commission, says his family has been the target of harassment and threats. Now, how brave and honorable must you be to threaten and harass a man's children? Do you think the kids have anything to do with what their daddy or mommy does or any sway when it comes to especially governmental policy? Now, during an interview yesterday on Fox and Friends, viewers were shown cardboard signs that host Dave Ducey said were put up at Pai's home in his suburban Virginia home. One sign appearing to refer to Pai's children read, "They will come to know the truth. Dad murdered democracy in cold blood." I didn't realize democracy needed to be regulated. I thought democracy was the unregulation, the free flow of thought and ideas, not the regulation of thought and ideas. These people got everything backwards. Going back to earlier this morning, the first hour, the Bible is pretty clear on that too. We're in the days of when good is called evil and evil is called good. So the free flow of thought is now anti-democratic, where the strict regulation of the free flow of thought is now democratic. Yeah, I know, folks, that's backwards. And if you want to have a democracy, now today democracy is doing what one side wants only, instead of letting the free flow of ideas have many thoughts run your government and your society. Now that's democracy, many thoughts. But today democracy is construed as being one thought, and any other thought is called to be fascist. Well, one thought is fascist, but now many thoughts is fascist, and one thought is democracy. Where it used to be that many thoughts was democracy, and one thought was fascist. So we flipped it. We flipped that too, evidently. And they'll go so far as to now attack lawmakers and regulators, family, not just their spouse, but their children. Oh, aren't the left so brave?
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Former President Obama is out there now. He's that just cut off pretty all by itself, didn't it? Obama is out there now meeting with some world leaders, evidently. He is. Obama is going to meet with our Chinese President Xi Jinping and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In an upcoming trip abroad, he will visit China and India before making a stop in Paris, according to a spokesman for the former president. Obama will speak at various summits in the three countries that he visits. In other words, trying to get in the way of Donald Trump. In Trump's form. Why do Democrats do this? Has anybody seen a former Republican president do any of this? No. But we've got 3 previous Democratic presidents that don't know, evidently, that they're no longer president. And that they don't lead this free country and they don't lead the free world and they have no business meddling. But Jimmy Carter has done it. Now that he's in his 90s, he may be too old to try to interfere. Clinton did it. And now he's too busy trying to keep his head above water with all the sex allegations. And now we got Obama. And there doesn't appear to be, well, unless, of course, the Hillary Clinton scandal bleeds over into Obama, which it might. Got some news on that we'll go over tomorrow, too. It may. There's no stopping this guy. You know, there's no sexual allegations. And no, I don't think Obama's gay. There are other people that think, Obama's gay, man. He's gay. No, I don't think so. I don't buy into all that. Look, I don't like Obama. I didn't like him as a president. I don't think I'd like him on a personal level. We would not be friends. I do not believe we would be friends. But, I like to tell the truth about people. I don't believe that the guy is gay, and I don't believe Michelle is Michael, and I don't believe that their 2 daughters are adopted. People who perpetrated that stuff, they really need to get a life. Did he experiment in college? Well, a lot of people have. You know, especially if they get a little bit drunk or it was a dare or something. A lot of people did, especially girls. You know, a lot of women would come for, I was a lesbian in college. Well, no, you really weren't, but yeah, they did a lot of this experimenting stuff. Or drunken experiment. You know, they get drunk as an excuse. But they graduate and turn out to be fairly normal. Yeah, and even Obama was graduated and became fairly normal. He just became an extreme leftist. That's his main problem. But speaking of him going overseas, he's not going anywhere where there is controversy, it seems, especially when it comes to the immigrant or migrant problem. Because he's all about Obama's an open borders kind of guy. Well, he's not going to go to Greece. Because Greece pretty much has open borders, but Greece has some major problems. Here's a story out of Reuters. Greek island is now on strike in protest against becoming migrant prison. Yes, residents of the Greek island of Lesbos went on strike yesterday to protest European policies they say had turned their little island into a quote-unquote prison for migrants and so-called refugees. Islanders shut their businesses, shops, municipal offices, nurseries, and pharmacies, and dozens rallied on Central Square, calling on the government to transfer asylum seekers to the mainland. Lesbos, they say, is not a place for exile. So Obama, who's an open borderist, is probably not going to go to the Isle of Lesbos in Greece because those people don't want those migrants there anymore. They want them to go away. Can you blame them? They're probably causing havoc. So I love how it says, dozens and dozens of people. And some people will say, well, that's not many. Well, there aren't many people that live on Lesbos. It's a small, lightly populated island. So in their terms, dozens and dozens of people probably meant nearly all of the adult population, Greek population on Lesbos. Anyway, we're out of time for today, folks. But we will be back here tomorrow. We'll continue these conversations and more right here in about 21 hours. So don't miss it. Be here. Thanks for tuning in today. Have a wonderful Tuesday afternoon and Giving Day. I'm Rod Eccles. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Lapdogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For a Clinton, what's loaded in some fat Oppo file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.